Hey y'all, welcome back. My name is Shamika and this is Check the Rhymes. Y'all, today we are talking about season 3 of Oxygen True Crime's Killer Relationship with Faith Jenkins. And it airs on Saturdays at 8 o'clock on Oxygen. And I'm excited because Faith Jenkins is in the building to talk about what we can expect and more this season. So stay tuned.
Hi, Shamika. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome to Check the Rhymes. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
So, Killer Relationship, for those that aren't aware of what the show is about, could you kind of give us a little summary?
Well, the title says a lot about the show. It is about relationships and these crimes that are born out of these loving and trusting relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So we really take viewers through the highs of when people meet, how they met, how the bond formed, how their relationship formed. And we do that through the perspective of people who knew both the victim and the perpetrator. Mm-hmm. And then we take them through the lows, the end. What triggers someone to kill someone that they once cared and loved for so much? So it's an emotional series in terms of the just taking everyone through the investigation and what happened. And the big reason that people watch a show like this, two things. I think it's just the everyday people who are involved in these cases. These are not people with criminal histories and backgrounds. Mm-hmm. And number two, people want to know why. What makes someone snap? What makes someone take the life of the parent, the other parent to their child, for example? Mm-hmm. So it's really compelling cases this season. Every one of the cases, we really researched for months and chose these 13 cases for the show.
What can you give us any hints of which cases we might see?
Well, the season premiere, for example, is a case. It's the only case that wasn't adjudicated in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
It was adjudicated in Canada. And so you'll see a little bit of a difference in the law that was applied in the end. Some people will question whether they think justice was really served in the end with the trial and everything that happened there. But also there's one case that really garnered a lot of national attention here in the U.S. Even Oprah tweeted about it because it was such just a compelling story when it came out. Just really briefly, family members go to a party. They're drinking, they're dancing, they're having dinner, and it was all a setup for the killer to have an alibi because 30 minutes later, this person knew that they were going to kill this other family member.
Oh, goodness.
So they were there with them when they had their last meal, their last drink. They're watching all of this happen, right? Yeah. Smiling in their face. And then 30 minutes later, they killed them. And the story made national news because this person set it up as if it were a panhandler. They came over to the car and asked for money. And because the victim was just so generous and loving, they reached out to give the panhandler money and the panhandler stabbed them. That was the story he told.
Wow.
So there was this citywide manhunt for a killer when the killer was really in the car.
Goodness. So do you ever think about, and this came to me as you were talking, I'm like, for people that are watching that might snap, do you think they're getting ideas from these types of shows?
Well, I think that these are extremes.
Okay.
These cases the stories that we tell, these are extremes. And if people watch and they think they're getting ideas, well, every perpetrator in every one of our cases, they were caught, they were apprehended.
Okay.
They went to jail and prison. So there's a level of accountability in each one of our shows. Good. And that's another thing. We wanted to choose cases where we wanted people to see that there was some kind of justice that was served. So I would hope that people would not watch the show and think they would get ideas because these killers weren't smart enough to evade the law in prosecution.
Okay. Well, what do you hope that viewers take away from this show? I mean, are there any red flags they should be, as they're watching these cases, maybe red flags that may pop up to them that they should look at in their own lives?
I think there are a few things to take away. One, that no one is really immune to violence. It touches on people from all different walks of life and circumstances. We have cases with teachers and professors and people in ministry and stay-at-home parents. And so that's, I think, one of the reasons why the show is very compelling, because it's people from your everyday life in the community. Two, people do look to try to see, were there warning signs?
Yeah.
Were there red flags? Was there any history? What can I learn from this as I'm going through my life?
Mm-hmm.
Can I learn something from this and take something from this for my own self? And then third, I do want people to see that, again, that there were consequences for the actions that this person took. Okay. And fourth, which is really important, the legacy of the victim.
Yeah.
Every case we get the family's blessing to tell the story. And it's really important because I don't want the victims to be known for the way they died. I want them to be remembered for how they lived. And the families get to come on and talk about that and share about these victims on a national scale, where a lot of these stories were local and people may not have heard about them on the national scale. And now they get to tell from their perspective. So that's really important.
I love that aspect. Well, I could talk to you like all day, but I know we have to go. But Killer Relationship with Faith Jenkins, it airs on Saturdays on Oxygen True Crime at 8:00. So thank you so much, Faith, for joining me here on Check the Rhymes.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great meeting you.
You too. Have a great rest of your day.